আমাদের সঙ্গে আছেন ঢাকায় নিযুক্ত মাননীয় রাষ্ট্রদূত সাইদ মারুফ। আমরা তার সঙ্গে কথা বলবো আমাদের যেই ভারত এবং পাকিস্তানের মধ্যে চলমান যে উত্তেজনা রয়েছে সেই বিষয়টি নিয়ে আমরা কথা বলবো, এবং পাকিস্তান বাংলাদেশের যে ভবিষ্যৎ সম্পর্ক রয়েছে সেটা নিয়ে আমরা কথা বলবো, এবং বাংলাদেশ এবং পাকিস্তানের মধ্যে সরাসরি বিমান ফ্লাইট চালু হওয়ার কথা রয়েছে সেটা নিয়ে আমরা কথা বলবো। পাকিস্তান পিপল সেফ?
Well, as you know, the Indian atrocities, the Indian, this thing happened yesterday, in fact, late in the night. And this is something really very serious. And there were attacks by the Indians on several points in Pakistan. And we responded immediately. And we shot down their 5 aircraft. And which have been verified by the international observers, and the situation is tense. We wanted this situation, but the Indians have asked for it, and unfortunately the entire region is now gripped in this unfortunate situation. But as every state has its right to defend itself and to take the necessary measures to respond to any aggression, Pakistan is going to respond at its time of its own choosing, and place that is going to happen. And but it's unfortunate. It shouldn't have happened. Things should not have gone to this point. But the Indian hubris and their warmongering and this thing has taken this whole situation to a point where the entire region is destabilized. And Pakistan has to respond, and we will respond. Safe for who?
Terrorists.
Yes. Well, you see, I thought you said tourists. Well, you see, all those incidents that you have mentioned, has India ever come up with any evidence about those incidents? They create the situations, and on pretext or the other pretext, it's a false flag operation. They did like they did before. This is what they do. They never come up with any evidence. Even in this Pahalgam incident, time and again we had been asking them to show us the evidence. Let's sit together and see what actually has happened. And even international community is still waiting. Where's the evidence? So mere allegation does not prove anything. And it is their mantra for many years. Terrorism. The Pakistan is a safe place for terrorism. No other country in the world has suffered more than Pakistan due to terrorism, and we've been the frontline state against terrorism for, in fact, the rest of the world. In fact, if you go back like so many years, and that terrorism, nobody knows better than us what terrorism feels like. So it is very easy to, just throw an allegation from your comfort zone and drumbeat the war and all these allegations and create a situation or create an excuse out of thin air, and then you go on and do this. Tomorrow they can do the same thing to any other country in the region. So this is not the behavior like a civilized nation, and so it is very easy for them to say Pakistan is a safe place for terrorists. It's a pure allegation. There is nothing of that sort.
So your statement is that in India just blaming you?
Of course. Where's the evidence? Show us the evidence. Show the evidence to the world. Where is it? What happened? Who was involved? Where are the evidences? Where are the witnesses? And within 5 minutes of the incident, they already had everything against Pakistan. How come? They must have some magic wand, they just sweep it, and lo and behold, they have this thing, the case against Pakistan, within 5 to 10 minutes. Whereas, if you look at the geography where this thing happened, it is more than 200 kilometers away from the border. Between Pakistan and India. And on the one hand, despite the presence of 700,000+ armed troops in the region, on the one hand they cannot stop it, and they totally fail in preventing such incidents. But they are so quick and so efficient that it takes them only 5 minutes to blame a country. First of all, let me tell you that the SARC has this inbuilt mechanism whereby the bilateral issues should not hinder the SARC process. Any bilateral issue between the two countries should not. SARC actually, that is the provision in there, that any bilateral issues between the two countries or any two countries will not affect the SARC process. And so basically, India is violating the SARC process, because it is already given in that in the charter of SARC and the SARC mechanism that bilateral issues will not affect the organization. So that's number one. So this presumption or pretext that since there is a situation between the two countries, SARC process cannot run. No, it's not like that. We are ready. The entire South Asia is ready to move forward with the SARC. There's only one country which has an issue, and they use the pretext of this bilateral issues between the two countries. Whereas there is no such provision for in the SARC system that if there is an issue between the two countries, the SARC process will come to a halt. So it's a one-sided, it's only one country which has this issue. Otherwise, the rest of the SARC member countries, they are all for SARC and they want the SARC process to move forward. Pakistan, as far as Pakistan is concerned, absolutely not. You have seen it now. You have seen what the bigger neighbor around which the different member countries exist geographically, and name any one country which is happy with that big country. India.
I mean India.
Every country has an issue with India. Bangladesh has an issue with India, the water issue, and the Teesta water, and then Ganges treaty, and so on and so forth. Let me add here something, it is very important. This time around, India has used this, tried to weaponize water, Indus Water Treaty, trying to weaponize it. I think in the annals of history regarding these treaties, perhaps the Indus Water Treaty was the most watertight, secure treaty ever signed between the two countries, underwritten by the World Bank. And we had several conflicts even before this thing happened, and the Indus Water Treaty was never touched. And this time around, they are using it as a weapon against a country. And imagine, for example, there are so many, basically the entire South Asia, the mainland South Asia, the lives of the millions and millions of people depend on water. The lives of millions of people in Bangladesh, even in India, even in Pakistan, this whole Indus water system and the other water systems that are there present in the subcontinent, South Asian mainland. A lot of, in fact, billions of people depend on that. If you weaponize this water thing, then imagine what is the fate of the entire, a big chunk of humanity. And so this, if I give you the example of Ganges Treaty, it is, I think, due to be renewed in 2026, and it is not as watertight. I know for sure that it's not as watertight as Indus Water Treaty was. So if Indus Water Treaty can be weaponized, then you can imagine what possibly could be there in the Ganges Treaty and what could possibly be the Teesta. So this is very dangerous for the entire region, weaponizing the waters of South Asia. So this weaponization of water is something that all the countries of the region, especially the smaller countries, they have to take stock of this, and they should be prepared for something, in order to ensure that this water is not weaponized. It remains a lifeline of millions and millions of people, and it should be that way all the time. Let me update you on that. First of all, there is no restriction or there is no hindrance as such, either from Pakistan or from Bangladesh. It is only a matter of time. It is only up to the airlines to decide. And we recently got designated Fly Jinnah, which is a Pakistani private airline. And then we received another request from Air Sial, that is also a private airline in Pakistan, for designation. When we say designation, it means they should be allowed to operate between Pakistan and Bangladesh. And then the designation comes from the government of Bangladesh. We already have the designation for Fly Jinnah. The other one is Air Sial. Inshallah, I think soon we'll get the designation for that one also. And at this point in time, the airlines are actually preparing themselves to start the process. To start operating between Pakistan and Bangladesh. It is going to happen. It is inshallah going to happen.
When?
I cannot put a time frame, because it is, end of the day, it is for the private airlines when they are ready, when they are, because they also need to appoint those GSAs, the general sales agents in respective countries. So there is a whole lot of process that is behind it. So that is to be done by the airlines themselves. There is nothing that we have to do as governments. Pakistan and Bangladesh have already streamlined everything. So basically, it is the private airlines that have to, those airlines who have to start operating. So inshallah, it is going to happen. Okay. But I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful that the flights will flight operations will resume, inshallah, in 2025. But it's very hard to really give you the exact time frame, you know. It depends a lot on the airlines, how quickly they can, you know, do their processes.
How do you see future relationship between Bangladesh and Pakistan?
You see, since the 5th of August is a change of government, there is a lot of ground that both our countries have covered. And there were a lot of impediments before. There were a lot of irritants between our two countries. All of them have been removed. And I'm personally grateful to the Bangladeshi government, the interim government. They have been forthcoming in, you know, streamlining and removing all those unnecessary restrictions that were there. Those irritants are gone, and the trade has begun to flourish. Recently, we had this Pakistan-Bangladesh Business Forum. It was a one-day affair, and Honorable Advisor for Commerce, he inaugurated that. Before him, we had the visit of the Foreign Secretary. Those Foreign Secretary level talks happened after 15 years. So that's a very good positive step forward. And likewise, I see that in the future also, we will see more and more interactions. As the interactions increase, the relations are going to be, you know, improve step by step. The things are going forward. The foreign advisor, the foreign minister was scheduled to visit 27 and 28 April, but due to the situation in our part of the world, in our region, he had to postpone it. But that is on the cards, and inshallah the visit is going to take place once the things normalize between Pakistan and India. So once the situation is normalized, the situation is stable, then he is going to make a visit to Bangladesh. Well, it depends. At this point in time, basically, because of the situation, there are not many visits that are happening. And in any case, the visit of any minister will happen when you know there is something related to his ministry which requires him to travel to Bangladesh. Of course, there is absolutely no restriction, or there is no problem in visiting our ministers visiting here, or your advisors visiting Pakistan. There is no such thing that can possibly stop them from visiting. And it all depends on the kind of ministry, what ministry, which minister, and what's the purpose. Like maybe Commerce Minister may visit. I foresee frequent visits of the Commerce and Culture Ministers, because there's a lot of things that we have to do in that domain. So hopefully, inshallah, we will see exchange of visits. We will work with any government the people of Bangladesh choose. At the moment, it's interim government. It's the decision of the government, the people of Bangladesh. They chose to have this government because of certain circumstances, and we are comfortable. We are happy to be engaging with them. Tomorrow, whenever the election happens, whichever government, whichever party forms the government, we'll be happy to engage with them equally. It is up to the people of Bangladesh what they want. Our job as a diplomat is to engage and to build bridges between the two countries, regardless of which party is in power or which kind of government, which form of government is there. That is immaterial. Our job is to build bridges, and whichever government is there, interim right now is there in the seat, and we have fairly good and smooth relations between the two countries. In fact, the revival of relations between Pakistan and Bangladesh has happened under the interim government, and the things are still moving forward, and the things are looking up for us. So tomorrow, when the elections happen, whichever party or whatever the form of government is, we will still be forthcoming and engaging. This is a misconception. It's not like that. End of the day, it is the people of Bangladesh. They are going to vote. We are not going to vote. You are going to the polling station. You will be voting. You will be choosing which party you want. It will not be us. I mean, engaging with any party is normal. We diplomats, we do meet. We have met the BNP, we have met the Jamaat-e-Islami, Islami Andolan, you name it. And I think we have met all the parties, even the student, the new party, we have met them. So meeting anybody or meeting them, attending their receptions or being with their, that's our job. But it does not mean that we are, supporting any one party. In any case, our support or any embassy support doesn't matter. What matters is the people's vote. The Bangladeshi people will vote. Whichever party they vote, it is their choice. And we'll be engaging with the government, whichever party forms the government.
Thank you, Mr. Said Maruf.
It was my pleasure to engage with you, and we had a nice talk.